This is the Fontana Dam Shelter. They call this the Fontana Hilton. There's supposed to be hot showers here somewhere. I don't really see them. But this is what the inside looks like. They've got, shoot, they could probably sleep 10, 20, 30, 40 people in here. 10 on each layer, easily. Looks like a nice rainproof shelter. It says, firearms and alcoholic beverages prohibited. There you go. Lots of graffiti. Here are the log books right here. This is the outside. They have some nice benches. There's some bear-proof garbage receptacles. Nice little picnic area. There's the Fontana Reservoir. This is a solar-powered station to charge your devices, which is kind of cool. Some extra long cords. Here is a water source. I think I'll get just a top off my water while I'm here. So that's what that looks like. Kind of pretty. I like the red. Looks like red cedar, or it could be stained. It's probably stained. But anyway, there you have it. And then I will show you a picture of the actual dam. I think I have a little ways to go. This is the Fontana Dam, dang it. There's 2 people on this island. No, 3 people over there. This is what the dam looks like. This is what the reservoir looks like. I guess these are the turbines. Nice day. I don't feel energized. I did 2 basically 15-mile days out of the NOC to Fontana Dam. I was never so happy to stop yesterday on the whole hike so far. And that's it. The Appalachian Trail actually goes over this dam, which I think is pretty cool. I think it's closed to road traffic. I don't think you're allowed to drive on it. So I resupplied yesterday. I think I've got somewhere between 7 and 10 pounds of extra weight on my back going into the Smokies. There's an option of resupplying halfway through. You have to hitchhike from the only paved road I think that goes through the Smokies and then go into Gatlinburg. But I want to see what it's like to hike for a week without stopping and resupplying. I'm going to show you a picture of below the dam. Whoops. That's below the dam. Pretty cool. Pretty good water flow coming out of there. So that is below. And there is above. But this reservoir is huge. This is only a really small portion of it. Okay, I'm going to hike for a while. Here's where you're supposed to leave your permit for going through the Smokies. There you go. A couple other hikers coming up behind me. Hope you don't mind being movie stars.
No, Not at all. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good. Wonderful day for hiking.
Yeah, these guys just took a break at Fontana Village, I think, right?
Yeah, resort.
Oh, resort. Oh, resort.
Yeah, they charge you there.
Oh, straight up for who knows how many hours since sunrise, basically. But this is so we're pretty far up in elevation, probably getting close to 5,000 feet. And we'll be here for that long. I saw this guy, Boomer, on the trail. He's on YouTube. Everybody's passed me so far. That's okay. I felt a little hot spot on the bottom of my foot, so I took somebody else's advice and you're supposed to stop what you're doing as soon as you feel a hot spot. And I put some KT tape on it, and to prevent a blister. That would have turned into a blister for sure, and then that would have been miserable. So so I did that, and it's really starting to be nice out. It's probably like maybe 50 degrees already, maybe 45 or 50, so that's nice. And this is the view from up here. So that's a pretty nice view. Wide open spot right here. See if I can even zoom in a little bit more without it getting all. And I imagine these mountain shots, they'll get old after a while. They all look the same. But when you're up here actually looking at it, they're pretty cool. So you can see the bears clawed the hell out of this tree, looking for grubs. Look at all that fresh bark on the ground. It's just been done. I'm no Indian, but I'd say that's been done the last day. So that's comforting. This is Wednesday, March 11th. This is what the trail looks like today. The sun may very well pop out. It's a little foggy. Been hiking since 5 a.m. It's probably about 6:45. First day up in the Smokies was great. Yesterday it rained. It rained all day long, and the winds were blowing 25 knots. Kept going over the tops of these peaks, and it was just, the wind was just howling. It was like, and then there was some hail, so that was beating my face. And my rain gear, outdoor research, helium 2, by the way, soaked right through. So I had, my clothes were soaking wet. I was freezing cold. I thought about quitting the trail probably all day. Really, still thinking about it. So today's supposed to be a nicer day. 80% chance it won't rain. plan to go up over Klingman's Dome. I'm the only one out here. The sun is coming up and the moon's going down. So this is hard. Right in the middle of the Smokies, more or less, right now. I planned on going straight through in about 7 days, but I think I'm gonna do what everyone else is doing that I was in the shelter with. There's about 14 people in there. And I stayed in the shelter because it was pouring down rain. And everybody's going into Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Everybody in the shelter that I talked to. A lot of spring breakers out here, believe it or not. So that's kind of weird that they would pick the freezing cold rain instead of Florida for their spring break. Doesn't make any sense. It's funny, all these young college age people in my shelter, and I started a fire. I brought some wood in, and then everybody wanted a fire, said how nice it was, and I got my sleeping bag because I was freezing. People were coming and going, and everybody's like, oh, that's a nice fire. And then the wood ran out. So, and not one of those 14 people, I made like four wood runs to keep the fire going, and not one of those 14 people went out and got one tiny piece of firewood. They just expected it to be done for them. So that freaked me out a little bit. I don't know where the disconnect was. I don't understand it. I don't want to be Debbie Downer today, but it was a hard day yesterday. Right. It's the first little bit of sun I've seen in a while. Kind of pretty down this big valley. Clouds just kind of moving over these tops. Some clouds hanging out down in there. Kind of a cool little section of the trail. Looks like a storybook, sort of. Finally, pine trees, some pine trees up here. So that's a nice change. Okay, back to my trekking poles. Here's some more of the trail going up and through these pines. Kind of hard to film because it's straight up. I know it doesn't look like it's straight up, but it's straight up. Kind of pretty in here. Sun is finally out, so it's sort of filtering through these trees. Really pretty, that's for show. I gotta use both hands to hike this thing. This is definitely pretty. I think this is the final ascent to Klingman's Dome. There's sawing trees back there at the shelter, taking down some of the hazard branches to protect the hikers. This is really pretty. I mean, it's all pretty much pine trees now, and Nice sunlight filtering through, and some a lot of moss covered trees. I mean, each one is a picture. And at least this part isn't as brutal of a climb as all through Georgia and going down and up into the NOC and stuff like that. So really super pretty. Birds are finally singing. There's a little bit of cloud or fog blowing through. I'd like to go to one more shelter past Klingman's, whatever that's called. I will try to take a picture, do a little video. It's definitely worth a walk. Okay, gotta continue to climb. Here is one of the gaps, and it's just blowing the clouds right over this gap. Pretty cool. Pretty amazing, actually. Weather changes so quickly up here in these Themnar mountains. Pretty.
Can't win them all when you're hiking in the mountains.
No.
That's for sure.
I mean, yesterday we were hiking in the rain all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was hard. That was difficult, but
Yeah,
worth the view.
It does, after hours and hours of rain, it does kind of wear you down. Full respect. It was really, but it was beautiful to see.
Well, the bears, you can see there's logs everywhere that are just completely ripped to shreds.
Yeah.
Some that are down there looking for grubs, and then there's some trees that are standing that are like completely ripped apart. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, the views are coming and going. That was socked in a minute ago. So Klingman's Dome is the highest point on the Appalachian Trail, higher than the mountains even in the presidentials. So that was kind of cool. Had some in and out views. Luckily we got some views today. And it's also the 200-mile marker, the Appalachian Trail. So that's cool. 200 miles, 2,000 to go. There were actually a couple people up there. The rangers the road is closed to up to Klingman's this time of year because of snow, so the rangers will let them park near the bottom of some road as long as they don't block the gate, and hike up So there's a couple from Maine up there eating lunch, and they had 2 dogs, one really shy, sort of German Shepherd, and then this one big fat black lab. It said blind dog, and it was on its little vest or whatever, and it was actually a blind dog. It barked at me until I pet it, and then it was all happy and goofy. So he's blind, he just wants to see who's there, friend or foe. So that was kind of cool. So it's going to be another, I think, 5 miles to the shelter. Looking forward to getting down there and building a fire. Hopefully they have a fireplace. My hands are freezing. See ya. This is all in the dark. Started out at 5 o'clock this morning, and there's kind of like these long logs that somebody, I don't know how they split them in half like that. And then they cut some grooves on it, I guess, for when it's snowing or ice. It just sort of meanders over this low-lying area. So that was pretty cool. I think that was like a stream, like this snow melt thing. So this is what I see. I'm out hiking every morning at 5 o'clock. Sometimes it can be slow going, for obvious reasons. A little bit of water on the trail. We had a nice fire at the shelter last night. The kids there actually went out and got a couple pieces of wood for the fire. Small pieces, but they were pieces. At least they... Look at some of these logs that are just randomly... Hiking at night has its own beauty. Although probably a little more dangerous. Definitely slower going. So this is what I do every day, 5 o'clock, down the trail. Everybody else is sleeping. And I get some miles in because I'm such a slow hiker. But these are the woods that I'm hiking in now. Wait, I don't know how this is going to turn out film-wise, but I thought it would be interesting to share what I've been doing in the morning. There's some big trees. There's some mammoth trees that are cut down, though. Some really old growth. I'm not sure why they would have cut them in the first place. Because there's certainly no logging. I mean, you can cut all the trees you want, but then you got to get them out of here, which is impossible. All right, I'm going to put this away so I don't get killed. Ugh. See you in the sunlight. I needed some water hiking along. There wasn't a good water source at the shelter, so every once in a while you see these little water sources on the stream. On the trail, I just dropped my pack. Kind of in the middle of nowhere-ish. So, so that's the source right there. Just a little tiny pool, and it's an actual spring. So I can tuck my knock bag up in there. I'll try to do it one-handed. Yeah, part 2. Bear with me. So you just find this little water source. You just hold the knock bag like so. Let it fill up some. Oh shoot, I forgot to screw the cap on. Damn it. That was stupid. I was thinking that should be filling up faster than that. So you just squeeze it so your knock bag's open like that, kind of. And there's the source, and you just put it right in there. Fill it up. It's a pretty good flow, actually. And that's all the water I need for a good long time. All right, and then I usually, then I'll put the Sawyer squeeze on that, and then I'll fill up this Smart Water bottle, and then tuck the stuff back in my pack, and on I go. So I'm gonna turn this off. I can't fill this one-handed. So see ya.